Alright. Hey everybody, thanks for coming out. Welcome to G-Spree's Next Fest Consortium. I'm a little curious about this microphone because I usually hold my microphone. Also, I figured this would be a great way to get me to stay in the same spot relatively. I hope you're all just as excited for Next Fest demos as I am. We've had a lot of games showcased last week at the PC Games Show, and then just so many more games along the way throughout the week. I'm here to talk about any and all games you might be interested in, answer a few questions along the way, and if anything mentioned or not mentioned in this conference is something that you'd like to see from me, see talked about by me, feel free to let me know. But without further ado, I know you guys are all busy people, so let's get this show on the road. Really quick though, for those tuning in from home, I'd like to point your attention to a little table of contents type style here we have, just kind of lining up the list of contents and things talked about for this consortium, in case you're looking to just kind of skip around or skip over some things, and kind of just look at what you're interested in or recognize by name, you can go ahead and do that. Alright, let's try not to take up too much of your time here, though this did take an exuberant amount of time to set up and put together, so I would like to make sure that your time is worth it. So let's start here. Hey Mr. G-Spree, Gavin here with Spreescriber. What do you think about the few deck building roguelikes we've seen? Great question. As you may know, I have talked about Shroom and Gloom already, which is by Devolver Digital, but we're actually holding another shorter panel next week to talk about some specifically deck building roguelikes, so if you're looking for that, that'll come next week. We're here to talk about other roguelikes and kind of anything else that we're interested in this week. There's also some games that I just wanted to give myself some more time to play, try out, and, you know, make sure that I can really justify them in the video or in the conference or whatever we're holding next week. But yeah, just get that out of the way for any further questions. We're not talking about any specifically deck builders this week, so we'll see you next week for some of that. Hey, I'm here with a piece of paper and no pen, so you mentioned Devolver Digital. I heard they had like 9 demos available last week. Awesome. I was hoping someone would bring up Devolver Digital here. So yeah, there's 9 whole demos. We've already seen a couple of them, being Shroom and Gloom, Mycopunk, and my good buddy Treecan actually uploaded a video on specifically Mycopunk a couple weeks ago. So if you're interested in that, go check that out. Also, I just really recommend Mycopunk in general. So if you're interested in a goofy take on Helldivers with an absolutely fantastic artistic style and coloring, accompanied by a fantastic crew of characters, as well as super unique items and missions to select from for just being a demo. By the way, this is also one of the few demos that is multiplayer. So Mycopunk demo here kind of just kicked it all over the place. So grab 3 friends and go liberate some fungus that somehow gathered sentience. Not really sure how that happened. Also, really quick from Devolver Digital, we did get baby steps. So for all of you rage-inducing gamers out there, or just rage game lovers in general, this game was also partially developed by Bennett Foddy, so go have fun with that. I've heard raving reviews about it so far. And then Botsu also is a game that came out of left field for me. It's a brand new game from a brand new developer in Peculiar Pixels. It's a showdown of fighting robots, scoring goals, more fighting, stealing points, and honestly stealing my heart. Last week, I had a stream with Orchaotic, and we were just going to originally open up the stream with about 30 minutes of Botsu before we get into the, you know, soul-crushing League of Legends games we were about to start. And we ended up playing for about 2 hours. So it's just really amazing. Grab a group of friends and really get in there. You can play 2v2s, you can play 3v3s, 4v4s, there's online matchmaking, or just friends only custom lobbies, so you can change and modify the gameplay all you want, and it fills in with bots if you can't find enough people for a lobby. I honestly can't wait to see what this game does when it comes out later this quarter, so I'm keeping my eyes peeled. And then we've got one more Devolver Digital game as well to just run through called Ball Pit. It's a simple brick breaking game, and I'll try to keep my ball innuendos far in between, but with the amount that's on the screen, with variety, the fact that you can fuse, upgrade, evolve these balls, it's kind of hard. Honestly, I can't believe I enjoyed it as much as I did, but people are also on the same page and absolutely raving about this game. It's truly fantastic. It's easy just to get into it and lose time in kind of a similar way that I had games on my tablet in like middle school, where I would open it and just want to play like, you know, 1 or 2 little games and then, you know, go about my day while I'm waiting for something or waiting for something to start, or just, you know, on the bus, and then boom, 30 minutes would go by and I'd still be wanting to play more. There's also a city builder to unlock characters and more passive upgrades for your run, and some more features coming soon. Well, hopefully soon. There's no current actual release date, just 2025. Actually, 2025 might be a lie. It doesn't say on the Steam page. All right, we can kind of move outside of the spotlight of Devolver Digital, so go ahead. Yeah, hi, what do you have for someone looking for a 3rd or 1st person roguelike? Great, I actually sent out a little minion to go talk about this earlier. So it's a dungeon crawler roguelite that brings a kind of different twist to what we normally see here. So to prevent me from taking any more words from his mouth, let's just throw it over to him right now. And I'm gonna hit you with this game called Brew, a cute little 3rd person roguelike dungeon crawler that honestly has a really good demo. You know, it eases you into the game, introduces you to the new mechanics and the focuses of this game. It's not hard, it's not, you know, unbelievably incredibly easy by any means. There's currently no other primary weapons to choose from, but the main focal point of this game is brewing potions. Throwing potions, drinking potions, they each have different abilities, and they're based on elements. Currently, or at least the ones that I interacted with, were 3. There's fire, air, and water. When you drink said potions, you get a personal buff for I think about 15 seconds, or you can choose to throw it or load it into your weapon at some point and inflict special damage and a lingering AoE on the field. You play as a little aspiring chemist in a school, and each run is going through the school. Each teacher has a different floor. So the first floor is focusing on like mecha something or other, like a little steampunky type robot stuff. And then the final boss of each floor is the teacher. In every single run that I did, I got an F because I died on the first floor. So I'm guessing you have to actually pass the floor to get something above an F, which, you know, would make sense because, you know, it's an F is for failure and you didn't pass the first floor. So therefore you're not passing anything. But it was really fun. It was really cute. I'm adding this to my wish list and I'd love to, you know, see what it does, see where it goes. Oh, okay. Me again. Hi. Since we talked a little bit about non-roguelike games, do you have anything else that surprised you? Actually, yes. There's a cute little game called Wheel World where you essentially just find a bike with a soul attached to it, and you have to rebuild this bike via racing other people who I'm guessing their bikes are also possessed. But in taking these races, winning these races, you gain reputation, which allows you access to other islands and better equipment for your bike, and just becoming the best biker around, I think, is generally the style. But it's a super chill, just like little biking game. I also want to talk about Dunecrawl, a game by Alien Trap. It's a super cute co-op action adventure game where you're just kind of surviving in the wasteland. There's also giant crabs. Oh god. All right, I need to stop eating. The demo is really fantastic. It's really short, so when it ends, you are just wanting more. So much to the point where you want to play through it just in case you missed anything. This is how a good demo should be, or, you know, a demo from maybe 8 years ago should be, which makes it the shortest demo, I think, in Next Fest this year, or I guess this time around. But this is such a perfect demo because it prepares you for what the game has and has available, and just teasing just the right amount of content to where it's just like, I need to know what's going on. You know, I got a handle of the controls, the feel of the game, a little bit of the story, and I need to know where it's going. It's also just a general fun time to play with friends. So I'll be definitely keeping an eye on this one. An honorable mention here is also a pair of dice. If you're interested in idiots being stranded on an island who are at the graces of 2 dice, one is a numbered d6 and the other is also a d6, but with little like creatures, rocks, wood, and other resources for you to roll and gain resources to try to survive. Be sure to check out the G-Spree Overstock channel if you're interested. That video will be hitting in the future, but we all know they're a little bit behind over there. So if you're interested, see me after the show here, and we'll see if we can pull some strings to try and get it uploaded at least in August. All right, folks, we're kind of running short. Somehow, who knew that talking about so many games in one specific consortium would be so time consuming? So let's try to end with a bang here. Go ahead. Did you have anything that you rolled your eyes at as a first reaction, but had your mind changed? Oh, definitely. Actually, the last 3 games I was itching to talk about can actually fit into this category. So that kind of worked well. Thanks, production team. First up is an insanely cute rhythm game called Ratatan. I just had to try this after seeing the goofy trailer at the PC Games Showcase. But you play as a cute little creature with an instrument who leads other cuter, littler creatures with even littler instrument. I don't care if that's not a word and there's a different word that I should be using. It's fine. Just deal with it. Because, like, what's not to love? The aim is building back up this city or driving out the evil forces. I think. I actually don't know. Don't hold me to any standard on this. I'm kind of just guessing, but that kind of seems like the general vibe of Ratatan. Also, just listen to the OST. I mean, this is just straight up a bop. Next up is a seemingly Hades-like roguelite that I originally had the hugest eye-roll shoulder drop that I could possibly think of, but this is a solid game that feels like it could be enough to stand on its own. Like, after playing this, my mind was genuinely changed, didn't even really think about Hades, apart from the core fact that it is a isometric roguelite in a dungeon. It sort of packages dungeons from MMOs like PoE and Diablo and sets it in sort of a Groundhog Day situation. It's you against the clock in a game called Hell Clock. I probably should mention what the actual name of the game is before I keep talking about it. As you fight your way through the actual real-life Brazil's War of Canados, but with a twist of dark fantastical powers. And finally, we had a super unexpected game from Payload Studios. Yeah, the TerraTech people. I can't believe we're getting another TerraTech game. After all these years, last year they came out with TerraTech TerraTech worlds and almost flipped the entire formula of TerraTech on its head, making the game more based on base building and survival. Keeping the core aspect that makes TerraTech TerraTech, we have building up your tech, bigger weapons, faster wheels, and more durable techs. It keeps that, and that's exactly what they do in TerraTech Legions. Welcome to a vampire survivor style swarm bullet hell. Not typically my bread and butter, but I had to see what the people over at Payload Studios were up to with this release, and I gotta say, it's not for me, but I genuinely enjoyed this game, so props to them for trying out something new. I will be interested to see where this goes, what they add to the actual roguelite aspect, because right now it kind of feels just like a roguelike where you're just going into a run, you know, driving around, getting upgrades as you level up, making additions and changes to your weapons and techs, I should say, instead. And then you can find these Legion bases that you can destroy for mass amounts of XP, as well as new crates to open for those blocks, weapons, and accessories. And you do get these accessories throughout the game, which increases like some passive healing, some attack range, attack speed, stuff like that. So honestly, well done, Payload Studios. I'm really interested to see where your little raccoon-like coding fingers take your games next and take the TerraTech name. But I'm guessing we won't see something from them for the next year or two, since this is a demo halfway through 2025. But this was kind of a shadow release for me, so, you know, we'll keep it in the back of my pocket. All right, folks, I think we're all out of time for this G-Spree Next Fest Consortium. If you enjoyed it, we do have a feedback box on the back of somebody's head. I don't know where they went. But thanks all for tuning in, and have a great week. We'll see you next time.